All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here with another episode of BILLINICO commentary. And today we are going to be talking about COE. Is there a time where content over everything just goes too far? Because you gotta look at the things that people are doing, the things that people are exposing about themselves. And it kind of, it draws an interesting question. Is there a thing such as too much COE, too much content over everything? I was watching the Joe Budden podcast, and as you guys know, they are my favorite group and podcast to use as a case study, so we can have deeper discussions. And business is business, money is money, and this is considered entertainment. But when the characters or the podcasters or whatever you call them are revealing certain things about themselves in order to continue the show or to give some content for the audience to listen to, be entertained by. And obviously there's going to be people like myself making commentary about it. You expose a lot of yourself, a lot of your vulnerabilities. And it's just an interesting time that we're in. you know the reality shows were something that were once new in the market. Real World, Jersey Shore, et cetera, Real Husbands of Hollywood, or all them shows, and or Real Housewives and all that. They became popular because people finally got a sense of thrill and connection because they felt there was more at stake, was more entertaining, because it was a reality base to it. It wasn't necessarily scripted. Now we see that a lot of those shows are scripted, even though there are elements of reality into it, but a lot of it is scripted. So that's why you see the rise in YouTubers and, you know, social media stars, because there's another layer of reality that you feel, right? And then you have podcasters, commentators, and entertainers on YouTube or these social media platforms where they're giving you the entertainment aspect where it's not necessarily scripted, it's based on their personal lives, or at least that's the illusion that they're giving. But man, when you put your health or your current condition, in front of the world for um, monetary gain, and it's on a platform where you're not even the owner, so there's only so much monetary gain you're getting from that level of exposure. I just find it interesting. I'm not judging any players involved in this. I do find what Emanny says, interesting, and what he reveals is wow. And prayers are go out to him. I pray for a speedy recovery. Seems like a decent dude, you know. Um, he actually seems like he pushes back on certain narratives and stuff, but he also comes across as a liberal man who follows certain ideologies that aren't conducive to a overall productive and healthy society. But just from watching him from afar, it seems like a decent dude. Seems like a chill dude, you know. And what shocks me even more, and what prompted me to make this video, is the response. The facial expressions after he reveals, you know, the condition that he's currently in or facing. So let me play a little bit of the video so you guys could get more context, and then we'll go from there.
To the T, nigga.
I mean, if anybody needs to know, I don't want to serious it out, but yeah, I've been dealing with I got diagnosed with stage 1 bladder cancer at some point, and I went through some procedure. I'm still going through some treatments, and that's it.
All right, so let's stop it right there. His body language, even with presenting this news, and these guys, see, the thing is, these guys aren't actors, right? Allegedly, they're not actors. Now they may do acting, adjacent things. Melissa Ford does these Lifetime movies or whatever, these gigs, but these aren't trained actors. And when he reveals this news, you can see how uncomfortable he looks about it. He doesn't look like there's any joy about this type of news. And this also, I can imagine he's getting older. He's entering his 40s, I believe. And, they've been clowning him about his health, testosterone levels and stuff like that, if you follow the podcast at all. And these are things that men have to go through naturally, right? So it's interesting, man, that the lack of respect that men get, the lack of care, not just from, women, but it's from the men too. Everything's a joke. And like I said, he seems like a good guy. He seems like he has a good heart. He may have grown up with certain ideologies that may not be the best for him and that he doesn't realize. Okay, let's get back to it. So yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable, man. I feel for the guy. I'm really wishing him the best, speedy recovery. And, if this was, I don't know what the goal of this was being revealed, if this was really just impromptu. It's unfortunate though. I know I said it a couple times. I really do wish him the best and a speedy recovery.
But that's not something I wanted to
See, Joe's face. Listen, this is who Joe is. The serious face. What is it? Dang.
point. And I went through some procedure, still going through some treatments, and that's it.
Sheesh.
But that's not.
Now, I don't know the dude. I'm only going off what he projects on the podcast. So, but it's not outright disrespectful. It's just, it could be his way of coping, distracting, like turning it a dark moment into a light moment, but it could be bothering him. It really could, but you never know. He could just be an asshole POS too. But what really, really is this reaction. This reaction got me.
That's not.
This right here. Now, again, COE, content over everything. It could be real, could not be real. If it's real, why does she look like that? Why does she look like some sense of satisfaction, happy, comfortable? Flip, he's holding his hand. What does that signify? That signifies nervousness. He's a jokester. That don't mean that doesn't necessarily reveal what's on his heart. She's holding back from laughing. Listen, you can give a different opinion. You can write down what you think in the comments, but this does not look like someone who feels sympathy or remorse or care. That's just my personal opinion. And it's kind of, wow, you get an eerie vibe if you watch that. People, rewind that and watch it yourselves and tell me what you think. What was that? Why did her eyes get wide like that? This is bad news. This is not good news. This is not funny. This isn't like, hey, so yeah, I was going down the stairs and I tripped and fell. I busted my ass. And you could like, okay, you're laughing at someone's pain. It's funny. They made it out okay. They're good. This is cancer. Cancer historically in this society, in this planet, that's like, you hear that, your heart drops because that is associated with death. Again, this is associated with him being done, finito. And allegedly they had some kind of relationship between them. So which means she has even more connection to him on some kind of intimate level, excuse me. So the person that you were once intimate with shows the least regard for your care. People say you should watch who you shake hands with. You should watch items you take out of a store, who you touch. You should be careful who you kiss, who you sleep with. Some of these people, the spirits that they have, allegedly, you will be surprised within their heart. And our society condones it, accepts it. It's very dark. It's just is what it is. And you can say I'm reaching. You can agree with me. Some people understand it. But there is a spiritual aspect to this world. We all forget about it, but it's there. And I think spirits reveal themselves at certain times. So it's important for you to watch, people's character and look at her eyes. Open. They did that little flicker. Looks like she's trying to hold back a laugh. And this is a dude that has almost like a death notice. Like, it's in stage 1, thank God. But it is what it is. Be vigilant. Be mindful.
Go ahead and bring
Queen's Flip's face. Look at Park's face. No smiling. Not really happy about it. You could tell he has some level of care. Look at Flip's. Dang. Hold on. So look at Joe's face. Joe, you can say Joe's a troll or what. He looks like it's still affecting him. But Joe Budden, to me, Joe Budden has this personality where he has there's just ways that he does things. It's like reactionary that even he goes to a therapist for a reason, because there's something in him that's just programmed to where he doesn't react the typical way that most people in society does. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it may not be controlled. And it comes from trauma to an extent, in my opinion. But I want to pause on Queen's Flip's face. So we got Joe's face, which is, I would say, it's neutral. You don't see a lift of a potential smirk. It's more like, oh, damn, this got really serious. I'm looking down. I think I do kind of feel bad. Usually I want to make a joke. And that's what I'm getting from his face. There's no potential smirk. He's looking down as if like there's a little bit of shame there. It is what it is. Ish is looking down, slight smirk, like, yeah, see? Because y'all playing around. Now it's serious, son. Come out. It's not cool. Ice looks a little uncomfortable, trying to relax a little bit, like, shit. No, not necessarily a smile. This isn't a smile because he's happier than new. This is more like, you see, y'all be up here playing around. Real life stuff happens. Y'all, I hope you feel that. The first person has a clear smile. The first person whose lips are clearly pronounced as if they're smiling. It is what it is, man.
And I will not be working anytime soon.
Why you can't work?
Well, yo, you just
What's up? Got some shit.
Now the jokes come along because he's smiling, and Flip is ready for action. But I wish I could pause it on his initial reaction.
On platform, but
Hold on.
Tough. Wait for the tea, nigga.
I mean, if anybody needs to know, I don't want to serious it out, but yeah, I've been dealing with
You don't. Nothing entertainment about this.
I got diagnosed with stage 1 bladder cancer at some point, and I went through some procedure. I'm still going through some treatments, and that's it. But that's not something I want to.
The eyes reveal the eyes reveal the soul. The eyes are the windows to the soul. There we go. You don't look necessarily happy about it. You don't. But yeah, that's all. I'm gonna leave it right there. You guys tell me what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments. COE, right? COE ever go too far? Is it too much? You let me know. Peace.